Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Boxing. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the Hall of Famers tank top on, Mr. Manny Pacquiao, also known as Mr. Chance. Michael's Chance, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good yourself?
Pretty good, brother, man. So before we start, I have to say this. Last week, we filmed the show. Everything was beautiful. And I said to you, you know what? I'm going to release this on Friday at some point. He said, yeah, okay, no
Mhm.
problem. As soon as I said that, we went back and I saw the television. Keyshawn missed weight.
4 pounds
So,
over.
so unfortunately, I didn't release the episode because I felt that at that point it would be counterproductive to release an episode with not up to date information, and based on the fact that he had pulled out of the fight due to missing weight, being stripped of his title, that episode just wouldn't look good coming out after the fact. So based on that, that's why we didn't release it. We apologize, but we wanted to keep things proper. And the only way we could do that was by doing it that way. I gotta tell you, man, that was a sexy looking episode too.
Yeah, it was good. It's
I
pretty good.
enjoyed it. But I mean, you know what? Here we are. We're here. Let's talk about it. Keyshawn Johnson. I like the guy a lot, but I really feel he's making a mockery of everything here, man. You're drop it, drop the facts.
Well, you come in 4 pounds overweight. It's unprofessional. It lets the fans down. It lets down the fighter you're fighting. 3 months of a training camp, money spent on trainers, the camp itself. At this level, Keyshawn is a young future star. He is a star, whatever you want to say. And for you to do that, I get it. You're too big for 135. You're going to fight at 140, 147 now, whatever you want to do. But to do that, you let all the fans down. You let the promoters down. People that come to see you, people get hotels. They bring their kids. All that to see you is all wasted money. It's very unprofessional. It's a bad look, and it's unacceptable
Yeah,
at
no,
this level. This
completely.
is not club. This is not club fighting. This is top of the top.
No, no, 100%. And the problem I had with a lot of this was very simply put, I thought, okay, medical, I got to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Cutting weight is a hard thing to do. It truly
Mhm.
is, right?
Yeah,
And some guys make it look easy, but as you grow out of your frame, as you get older, it gets harder and harder and
yeah.
harder. And I appreciate that completely. Um, I'm gonna go back to Devin Haney against George Kambosos at that,
Hmm.
when he was still fighting 135 himself. He looked emancipated. You could tell the man worked super hard overtime. Say what you want to say about Devin Haney. The man did not give up trying to cut weight, and he made it to the scale. He looked a shell of himself. He was skin and bones, but he did it, right?
Yeah.
You're world champion, man. You didn't even look like he tried.
That's what Bob Arum said. Some guys try to make weight. They look dehydrated. They look drained. And they still don't make it. That's one thing, but he didn't even look like that. That's what Bob was saying. He's quite disappointed in this. This doesn't main event.
And he's sitting ringside eating popcorn.
I know.
Like okay, I get it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know where the mental stage is here, but I mean, dude, if I had these opportunities as a boxer to come up, and if look at how hard it is to get your name up there in boxing,
Hmm.
right? I mean, just to be at the upper echelon of names, you're on the verge of making millions of dollars.
Yep.
You're hurting yourself here now, man. Now you're gonna go up to 140. That's a murderer's row, bro. You're that's that you're I think 140 to 147 has to be the hardest divisions in boxing right now. Most talent is between
A
one
lot of
one,
competition there.
right? Top some of the top guys are fighting at that weight. So come
I
on,
think he'll be
Keyshawn.
okay. I think he can hang with them, but this like it's unprofessional how he did that.
But
It's
no,
a
no,
lack of
no.
discipline.
What I mean is that it takes away from opportunities to get to those guys now.
Yep.
Like, what's Bob going to do with you? What? How will Bob Arum trust you now?
He'll give him another fight, but he's going to make him instead of having a marquee fight, it might take him 2 fights to get to that
Well,
marquee fight
that's
that
what
he
I'm
would have had if he
saying.
would have
But
came
in
out, right?
boxing, but we're talking about boxing, we're talking about combat sports where every fight that you take, no matter who you fight, something gets taken away from you. You lose a part of yourself,
Hmm.
right? So he's hurting it himself in terms of, what if he goes up against someone and he has an off night? We saw that with Teal and George
Hmm.
Kambosos.
Yep.
It just takes one fight. And how long did it take Tio to come back from that? It's taken him
Yeah. Well,
4 or 5 years.
Keyshawn's a little more mentally sound than Tio. But yeah, he's when he does a bad look, man. Nobody saw this coming. He's always looks in great shape. So I don't know what he was thinking, what he was doing. Obviously, he didn't have a great training camp. It seems to me if he came in I mean, it's one thing, half a pound, 1 pound, but 4 pounds, man. Come on.
Well, 4 pounds was huge. And I texted you right away, and you're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, dude, he came in over
I
four.
wouldn't expect it from Garcia or a Tio. I'd expect something silly like that.
Yeah.
But Keyshawn seems pretty disciplined. I was surprised.
Well, that's the thing, right? And, I think I'm just the one benefit is it was in Norfolk, Virginia. Now I'm not no knock on Norfolk, Virginia, but it wasn't a huge venue
Yeah.
or anything like that. It was his hometown, blah blah blah. It was a smaller venue,
Yeah.
so I don't think the damage was too bad. And to be completely honest, I don't see how many people. And nothing against Keyshawn Davis. I don't know how many people actually flew in or drove in from out of town to watch this fight
Probably not a whole lot.
per se. So
Mhm.
from that essence, that really set up the stage.
But all the tickets that were bought are ruined now because you bought them to watch Keyshawn. He's not even going to be there. So a
True
lot of
enough.
people down.
But like, I'm Bobby Sampson. I always try to find the silver lining in everything. Here's a silver lining for me, man. And this is a great segue. Abdullah Mason got a main event fight. He stepped up to the plate.
Oh
He
yeah,
looked great, took care of his business in 4 rounds, gave himself a couple rounds just to get that feeling, because we talked about it. The one thing that he had to be careful about was Nuttall's power.
hmm
And surely enough, we saw that early on the fight. He took his time a little bit, gauging it, this and that, jabbing away, working with that jab, found his range, got everything going, finished him off in four. Didn't come out of the round, right? His eye was done.
No, yeah, in between 4 and 5, he was
Yeah.
called it
So
off. He was done, dude.
doctor stoppage, even he said, I can't my eye.
Yeah, it was the right stoppage. He was going to get permanent damage to his eye if he would have kept
And,
fighting.
and dude, you know what? Nothing against him for saying that. You got to think about the long term here, right? One fight, you're already going to lose. You already know it.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah,
already
no chance.
setting up. Just stop. And that was a brilliant stoppage. I had no problem with it on any front. And Abdullah Mason, his stock, whatever Davis lost, Abdullah.
Abdullah's stock is rising, man. Yeah, he's a great young kid. Put on a great performance. Exciting to
Yeah,
watch. People want
absolutely.
to see a knockout TKO. It was fun. Like you said, he got to become the main event. Keyshawn didn't show up, so his stock will rise, and Keyshawn's stock short term will fall, but he'll rise back up because Keyshawn is just that talented.
I appreciate that, but just the way boxing is run, the way boxing is operated, one little flub like this can set you back longer than you can imagine. And we're talking, and because these guys don't fight in regularly,
Mm,
it's segmented. A guy might fight maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times a year, but most guys are only fighting 2, 3 times a year, right? So
yeah.
this is what I'm talking about. If you're moving up now to 140, how does that work? And you know what? Do you blame DeSantos for saying no afterwards, for not
Mhm.
willing to renegotiate the contract?
No, he shouldn't have to. That was the deal. You didn't meet the obligations. I don't blame DeSantos for that. Why would he? It's business. You didn't reach a deal. We said 135. You couldn't make the weight. Why should I let you have that edge on me? You broke the
But
contract.
DeSantos also threw away a title opportunity as well, though. I mean, I'm just looking
Mhm.
at from both sides, right? You have a guy who didn't make weight. The title's being stripped of him. It's sitting there now for anyone,
Yeah.
right? And he lost an opportunity as at a strap.
It's a bad look for Keyshawn. I mean, I'm sure he'll fight again in the next few months, but I think Bob will get him out there right away again
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's so young and so talented. But yeah, it's a bad look. It's
And his
unprofessional.
brothers killed it too. Both his brothers were on that card. They killed it as well. So I mean,
Yeah,
they're fresh
talented
as
family,
daisies.
great
They're fresh
athletes.
as daisies. So they're looking good. They're looking good. All right, man. I want to go quickly back to the UK, back to Ipswich Town, back to Wardley and Huni specifically, back to one Mr. Chance Michaels who made a long shot pick in the boxing pool. And dude, you came so effing close.
Yeah.
There's not many fights like I don't bet, but I felt like I was betting with you, if that makes sense. Like I'm gonna
Mhm.
join you in the passenger seat on this one. Um, you picked Huni to win by decision. And up
Close.
until that 10th round, outside of one round, maybe two for Wardley, Huni dominated him, made him look
Big time.
pedestrian, made him look like he was just a regional bar fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And then one little mistake, one little momentary lapse of just letting your guard down.
Yeah,
And
Huni
I
went.
remembered when I saw that, I remembered the time you and I were training in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And you kept telling me, you always got to keep that hand up. You always got to keep that hand up.
Yep.
Basic, not even boxing 101,
No, it's
the
just basic. Yeah.
prerequisite to boxing. You have to defend yourself, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And dude, it just takes one moment. I called that, as Frank Warren called, that's a Deontay Wilder moment.
Yep. Well, the
How many
commentator even
times
said Huni's got this fight, but you just never know. In heavyweight boxing, one shot could change everything. And the commentator was right. And I don't know why Huni was engaging like that. You had the fight won. You know, put on the fight for the fans. I get it. He wants to keep fighting, but be cautious because you have the fight won. Keep your defense tucked. You dropped your hands. You left yourself wide open. He did get up, and it was so close. Like the ref called it off. I guess he wasn't seeing straight, but he almost beat the count. He didn't quite. And
I
even if he
think
would have got that knockdown, he still would have won the fight. That's how
I
far ahead he was.
think I think the referee stopped it too quickly.
I thought so too, because he was up right around
He
the same
was
time.
up, and you look at both guys, Wardley looks worse for tear.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah, he's marked up. Huni was marked up a little bit, but overall, it was just a boxing clinic and it was nothing special. Honestly, it was just he worked behind that jab, he got his
Mhm.
shots in. Wardley just looked completely lost throughout that whole entire fight. He couldn't get anything going. I mean, this really showed how much Wardley needs to improve. I mean, I said it straight up like, dude, now, this is what it looks like when you're not fighting Fraser Clark.
I think we're going to see a rematch again because, it was an exciting fight and one knockdown last round changed the whole fight. So I think
I
Huni should get a rematch. So I think
I
and now it's
I
building some hype. So I think we'll see it.
I have become a huge Huni fan. If you guys go back, there's some great footage of him backstage with the family, his family. I don't know if that was his wife or girlfriend or whoever it was. She was crying, and he's like, "Hey, it's okay. These
Mhm.
things happen. We'll
You
bounce
know,
back. We'll
well, he'll
bounce
bounce
back.
back.
We'll got it. It's okay. It's just bad luck. It happens. What can I do?
He made
So
a
but
name for
you
himself
won.
this weekend, man, and I'm happy for him.
He made a name for himself in the ring. But he also made a name, in my opinion, I believe he made a name for himself as just a great competitor, a humble competitor. He could have come out there and said, I bloody did this and I did that. The referee called it too short. He's like, hey, it's okay. These
I
things
thought he
happen.
almost beat the count when I was watching. I was like, wait a minute, he was up right around the 10 mark. It was really close.
Well, they want you up by 8,
Yeah. This
right?
is
You
just
you got
barely missed it.
so they want you up by 8. That's what the standing 8 count is, right?
Yeah, yeah, so you can
You
get your
you can
wits
sit
about you.
there, with your knee bent, but be up before 8, man. 8.5,
Mhm.
maybe depending on the mood of the referee. But at 7.5, start moving up.
Yeah, I know. He's just a little
You know,
just missed it.
he took a
And
little
even with
too
that
long.
knockdown, Huni still would have won the fight. If he would have got
I
up, he
think,
still wins the fight.
I think, yes, you're right. I think what happened in that instance is like he's like, shit, how did this happen?
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was the pain of the shot or if it was more of the confusion of what just
He was
happened.
disoriented. He was confused. What happened here? Where am I? Trying to
Why?
get his wits about him,
Right.
right?
And that's what caused that. But dude, you came so close and those guys better be praising you for that one.
Well, they did. Hawkhanner did. I don't regret that pick. If I would do that again, I'd make that pick again because I do think Huni is the better fighter. He is more skilled. He hits harder. He got sloppy at the end last round. That's his own fault. Wardley won fair and square. But if they rematch again, I'm confident Huni will beat him.
There you go. There you
But
go,
who
man.
knows?
But like I said, man, but and everyone's like talking Wardley. But I made a comment to Jam Boxing and those guys, right? When I was watching them. Guys, if you guys are watching a fight and those guys are on, Jam and Mr. Neutral are on, just turn the volume down and listen to those guys. They're
Mhm.
phenomenal. I enjoy listening to them.
Well, you got those accents too that stand out, right?
But Mr. Jam, man, he's like, I don't know how much that guy weighs, but he's you know, his
Not much.
energy, dude. He's like he was like,
The thing with Jam is like I can understand him perfectly, with Mr. Neutral, sometimes I have a hard time understanding what he's saying. Not all the time. On certain things, like when he's reading out the stats before he make a prediction, he'll say, Bob Smith, 20, orthodox fighter, and he'll say the other guy. Sometimes like, what did he say?
It's a northern accent.
Yeah, his pronunciations can be
It's
sometimes
that
hard to pick
northern
up.
accent. But those guys are great. I love listening to
Oh,
them
they're awesome.
commentate. The only thing I wish they had in traditional commentator, they have the microphone like this.
Yeah, the microphone. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they do in the UK. The commentators have
yeah.
a microphone that they hold in their hand.
Yeah,
They don't have headsets.
yeah, they love it. They're very, very passionate about it.
Love it, love it, love it. And I love listening to those guys. And I think everyone should. Okay, you know what? From one Australian to another, Mr. Jorges Kambosos comes back to the ring in New York again, the site of where he beat Teofimo Lopez. Will Iron Strike, will Lightning Strike again? We'll find out as he goes after the IBF championship held by Richardson. Richardson. Um, what do you think, man?
Richard Hitchens is going to win this fight. He's 18-0. He's never lost. He's got slick boxing skills. He's got a 39% KO rate, which is not crazy, but he's got some power. But I just think he's too technical, too skilled. This is a big chance for Kambosos to get a belt. And Kambosos is tough. We don't sometimes like he's been in there with some great fighters. Kambosos. He's been in with Lomo. He's been in there with Tio. So he's fought tougher competition than Hitchens has.
Yeah.
But Hitchens is just right now he's in his peak. He's 18-0. He's going to be a name we're going to hear about going forward now. He beats Kambosos Jr., puts his name on that map, officially stamping him. This is the toughest challenger he's fought today. Kambosos is tough. I love George. He's a former Manny training partner, and I hope he wins, but I'm going with Hitchens this fight. I think UD Richards going to outbox him. He's too slick. He's too technical. He's got some pop in his hands. I think once Kambosos feels that pop, it's going to back him up a little bit. And I think I'm not going to say an easy night, but Hitchens UD over Kambosos. But I want Kambosos to win. But I don't think I think he's lost a bit of half a step now, George.
Well, I think George has lost half a step. He's also moving up in weight, right? Sort of a deal. So this is the second fight here. I don't know how many more opportunities he can give the guy, honestly. I mean, and again, the 3 losses he has were not against, less competition. We're talking
Haney twice and then Lomo.
And Lomo. But everyone that he's fought in between, Maxi, all those guys, they weren't really step ups or anything to kind of make you better. It was more of an ego boost, in my opinion, those fights against Liam Paro as well when he fought him just last, right? It was Liam Paro that he fought last. Again, it wasn't a fight that made you go, okay, we got Kambosos back. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that Wardley effect that everyone was cheering him. But, I said very clearly in comments in other sites that Wardley didn't look great.
Not at all.
So I don't know what you guys are excited about. Yeah, he got that one shot. And yes, it only takes one shot. But if he didn't get that shot, you know what I'm just saying in general? But
Jam and Neutral, they had a bias for Wardley because that's who they picked in the boxing league.
No, right? I get it. But I'm just saying, no, it's just not even them in general. You just look along the lines. Everyone was just like, oh yeah, Wardley, yeah, knockout, great. How many times do we see Deontay Wilder losing a fight until he gets that one shot off?
Yeah. Right? He's fighting again, by the way, Deontay.
Yeah. Well, why not? Let him. He's got to do what he's got to do. But back to this fight, I just feel that Kambosos hasn't had a real solid opportunity, solid challenge since the Lomos and the Haney.
And Lomo finished him, yeah.
Right. And that being said, Maxi and Paro didn't push him to the limits, but they pushed him more than they should have been able to.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of George we're to expect here. I mean, maybe
I think he's always a tough game competitor. He's going to give it his all. I just think Hitchens is too much for him. He's 18-0. He's never lost yet. I mean, Hitchens is stepping up in competition because George has been in there with some all-time greats.
So that being said, just to piggyback off of that, I look at Hitchinson as well. Then he hasn't fought anyone like a George yet or anyone of that level. So we'll see what he has in his game. Maybe
should be a fun fight.
Maybe he won't be ready. Who knows? But you know what? I think George might win. I think George wins. I think he pulls it out. I think the experience. I think having the time with Haney, Lomo, and all those guys as well. I think also being back in New York at the site of where he won the titles. the psychology behind it, not being at home might help him as well. Or he could just fade. I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna say, George, you're saying
I'm
Hitchinson
saying
and
Hitchens. I think he's a better boxer right
yeah,
now at this stage in time.
yeah.
I think he's 18-0. He doesn't want to lose his belt. He wants to keep it.
No, for sure.
But for all those things said, I'm going to go with Hitchens.
Okay, and I will go Kambosos because I just think that the psychology portion of it will play in his favor more. And I just don't think Hitchens has fought anyone. Like you said, it's a step up in competition. So
Hmm.
he hasn't fought anyone per se and take nothing away from winning the title as well. Right? That's no easy feat. But that being said, you haven't fought top level competition, and I'll put George up there sparingly as top level
Hmm.
competition.
Yeah.
Fading top level competition. Let's call it like that, right? I think that's a better way to categorize it. So I say George in 12, you say Hitchens in 12, right?
UD. Yeah.
UD across the board. Also on that card, we have a Canadian heavyweight coming up here, Alexi Barrios. He's fighting Ronnie Hines, heavyweight, 12-0. Guys, check out
Five
Chance's
knockouts in a row, by the
five
way.
knockouts in a row. Should be interesting. Good Canadian guy. He's from
Big boy,
Quebec.
6'5",
Yeah,
huge,
yeah,
strong.
yeah.
And he's going to win.
So
He's going to make it. He's going to make it 13-0. I think he's going to stop him. Round
fair
five,
enough.
round six, TKO.
I can potentially see that as well. But make sure to check out the breakdown on X,
Yeah.
which should be up there in the next day or so.
Within the hour or two, I'll have it
Oh,
up.
okay, even quicker
Yeah.
than that, man. All right, all right. So that being said, we have some fun stuff to talk about now.
Oh, one
One,
more thing.
Miss.
Nonito Donaire coming out of retirement,
Oh,
two
that's
years off,
right. That's right.
42 years old
Donito
with
against
Campos.
Camposo. Uh,
He said, man,
Fighting
he's
in
inspired him to
Argentina.
come back. Huh?
That
In
fight's in
Argentina,
Argentina. That's crazy, eh?
he said Manny inspired him.
Man, why not, man? I mean, without Manny, there's no Don Air.
Yeah, exactly. His last fight, I guess, was a new way there, and he got rocked. But hey, man, it's a fun. I'm glad he's out. So, I don't know what he has in the tank. 2 years, 42. I mean, he's a good fighter, but he's no Manny Pacquiao. So, can he perform at 42? Manny won the belt at 40. Oldest 41, 40. Yeah, he's 40 when I saw him. Maybe
Yeah.
almost turning 41. So we'll see what Nodino Daenerys can do. I think Campos is going to take him, but it's just 2 years. He's 42, but who knows? We're going to find out. But I got Campos to win a split decision.
Yeah, you know what? I have it the same. I probably see Campos actually winning it by TKO in the seventh or the eighth round. I just think the pressure is going to be too much for Don Air. Being out of the ring 2 years is a long time. Coming off a loss to a Inoue that way as well,
Hmm.
getting put down the way he did, all that. Take all that into account. Um, it's a valiant effort, but I think that he should.
I mean,
I think I think he should basically just stay away now and just
yeah,
enjoy the fruits of his happiness and go from there. And we'll go from that. All
yeah.
right, brother man, we got two big things that we want to talk about here, but before that, before let's get into this one first. Um, Lomo announces his retirement.
Three to weight, three weight division champion, retiring with the title. He still had lots left in the tank. His last performance against Kambosos, he looked great. I think he lost. He was a little bit disheartened since he got robbed by the Haney decision. But maybe he's not. He doesn't have that love for it like he used to. And Lomo and his dad are not the kind of guy that are going to go out there and half-ass it just for the money. He's too prideful. Go on X and read up what Usyk wrote about him. Ring Magazine posted it, or Instagram, wherever it is on there too, and he gave him a nice tribute. And so Lomo just lost his passion for it, but he can still compete with anybody.
Well, and you know what? And if you lose your passion for it, especially at something like this, right? I mean, if you lose your passion for fighting, then it's the best thing you possibly can do is just walk away. And I think Lomo made the right choices there, man. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's better that he walks away with that mentality than
Mhm.
wanting to come back. So yeah, it's always if you
You
get
know,
the
he had a lot of
head,
big fights. I mean, Bob offered him Tank Davis,
yeah,
Shakur Stevenson. They're saying he's scared. He's not scared of Shakur. Shakur doesn't knock anybody out, and he's not scared of Tank either. He just doesn't have the passion for it, man. So walk away as a champ, three-weight division champion. And I'll say, well, Bob Arum says before Inoue said Lomo's the best fighter he's ever seen, most skilled, and if his maybe the best footwork you're ever going to see. If you watch some of his fights, he was in ballet for many years. So
yeah,
the
yeah.
way he floats around that ring. his feints. He's got such a high level IQ. He's one of my favorites, and what a
Yeah,
career Hall
no,
of Fame, man.
and nothing but respect to Lomo.
Yeah.
I honor his decision because, like I was saying, man, if you're a boxer, if you're in combat sports,
Hmm.
you don't want to end up like who did Tyson fight? That one Polish guy. Anyway, the guy who started crying during Andrew Galata.
Fogalata,
Fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the guy lost it in the ring, right? You don't want that. You don't want that kind of to be in that position. So combat sports is not forgiving. If your heart's not in it, don't do it. Very simple.
Yeah, I can get hurt and stuff. I mean, he can still do it. He's only 36, but
He's only 36, but if your heart's
he
not in it,
got
it doesn't
robbed.
matter
He
how
should have
old
been.
you are.
He should have been undisputed. He got robbed by the Haney decision, and after that, you could kind of tell he kind of took a step back. And
They took a step back, and then you got to also take into account, and I'm only throwing this out there because this could have, impacted his decision. What did he see in war?
yeah,
Like you're going back and forth between a boxing ring and a war ground.
hmm
So, who
that
knows what the man saw?
yeah.
That can
And
also impact you.
Usyk is 2, 3 years older than him, but Usyk just has a different mentality than Lomo, right? And hey,
Well,
Lomo's
when
an
I look
all-time
at,
great, one of the most
I,
skilled boxers you'll ever see.
I think both guys are very patriotic and they were ready
Oh
to
yeah,
fight, but I almost feel that Lomo was further to the front lines than Usyk was, perhaps. So it
I'm not
almost
sure on
makes,
that, but
I don't know either, but it just makes me wonder what effects of war had on him as well. That's
Lomo's a
all.
little bit more of a private guy. Usyk's a little bit more of a showman. He's kind of goofy,
Yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah,
goofy, dresses goofy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
Lomo's a little bit more like just a business, like straight to business. Let's get this fight on. He's very
yeah.
classy. They're both classy, but yeah,
So perfect, perfect. So this July we have Manny Pacquiao going for the welterweight championships against Mario Barrios. But before that happened, this past weekend, he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. What a great speech, man. It wasn't huge. It wasn't long. It wasn't
nine
pompous.
minutes.
It wasn't arrogant. It was less than 9 minutes. I mean, the whole video is 9 minutes long. The whole clip is 9 minutes long.
Mm.
The intro was about 2 minutes. So 7 minute, 6 to 7 minutes. But man, what a beautiful piece of writing.
Yeah, and he threw a subtle jab at Floyd Mayweather
Oh,
when he
totally.
said, "I take the hardest fights. I'm not
Yeah.
here to protect a record." You know what I mean? So we know who he's talking about there, and other fighters that do that too. Yeah, he's very humble. He's talking about he had no shoes. He didn't mention the speech, but his dad actually ate his dog. That's what made him want to be a fighter. He had nothing. He talks about his faith. He's a small guy. He's only 5'6". He's coming from a small island in the Philippines. I
Yeah.
mean, for him to come over to America and fight like this and dominate 8 different weight divisions, beat up all the American fighters, Mexican fighters, nobody would ever guess that, and he did the impossible and he's still doing it. And that's why, with his faith, with his belief in himself, he's coming back to fight again. And in his mind, he's going to beat Barrios, is what he thinks, and he wouldn't come back. Pacquiao wouldn't make a fool of himself. He's not up in tip top shape and feeling good. He wouldn't come back. He's got nothing to prove.
No, no, no,
So
he doesn't. But
he
just the
wouldn't.
way he delivered it, everything that he said
Mm-hmm.
was said with such humility,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's very
and
gracious.
and he was spitting straight facts too,
Mm-hmm.
right? In other competitors would have sounded arrogant, would have sounded egotistical, would have
Mm-hmm.
sounded narcissistic, delivering that speech the way they would have in terms of trying to get all of that in there. But the man was just I don't know, man. I mean, I love Manny Pacquiao. What
Oh,
can I say, right?
that speech is one of the best speeches you're ever going to hear. Like you said, it was so gracious, so humble, thanking the Filipino people, thanking all of his fans around the world. Just a great guy. And
No, but just the
go check
facts that
that
he
out.
was throwing out there. Fact, 8-time world champion. Fact,
Hmm.
humble.
Hmm.
Fact, powerful. Fact,
Hmm.
footwork. Fact,
Hmm.
faith. I can keep going on and on and on, man. This
Hmm.
guy is humble in defeat. He's humble in victory. He's just he's what you want to see more of with these athletes, right? I mean, he doesn't get enough praise. So this is why I'm really throwing him his flowers because
If
we
he was an
praise.
American, he was an American, he'd be, or even English, he'd be getting so much more praise.
Well,
They would
well,
call him the
well,
greatest to
I
ever
get it.
live.
I
And
get it. I get it. I get that. But unfortunately, we live in a time where that was not going to happen right now, right? But
Mhm.
I just love the fact that a man who's actually lived a good life, And we talk about boxers in general coming from impoverished, you know, uh, situations, poverty, really bad living conditions, fighting from the slums all the way up. We hear the story all the time.
Hmm.
99% of boxers all come from that place.
Hmm.
Not everyone is a Connor, a Connor Ben. Not everyone is a Chris Eubank Jr. who came up living the good life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
So you look at that, and the guy. Now I don't know if he committed any crimes or anything, but I mean, for the most part, this man not walked on the straight and narrow,
Yeah.
even growing up in that situation. And I think that the further you get away from North America, if you live in a slum, that's worse than any poverty that's in North America.
Oh, hands down.
Okay, no,
Absolutely.
no, let me
Third
take that back.
world
When
slums
I
is
say
different than
North
the first
America,
world
I'm
slums.
talking Canada and America, not Mexico. Mexico can get
Yeah.
pretty,
That's going to
Mexico
get
can
pretty
get,
nasty. Yeah.
right? But it is a part of North America. So the upper part of North America, let's call it
Yeah.
that, right? We don't have a clue. Most people here do not, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. Most people here do not have a clue what real hard life looks like.
Exactly. Not compared to third world hard. Third
No,
world slums a lot different than first world slums.
even when we get hard here, it's not that hard. Let's be honest, man. Homeless people in our city have cell phones.
Hmm.
How?
Yeah. Shelters, almost like they can go for showers and stuff. Yeah.
Right? But the cell phone thing bothers me. It's like how we pay X amount of dollars each month for a phone,
Hmm.
but they're getting it for free.
Well,
With
they're
better,
saying for safety issues and stuff.
but still, man.
No,
Anyway,
I know.
that
It's
that's a
crazy.
different day. That's a different show for different people. But great speech, loved it. And I hope he can piggyback off of this and we see something exciting. If he wins, I will feel really bad for Mario. I will.
Well, not really, because this is the biggest payday of Mario's life.
No, 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 I get it, but I mean, win or lose, he doesn't win.
Yeah, I know.
He wins, oh well, you beat an old man. He loses, oh,
Mhm.
you couldn't beat the old man.
Yep. But
It's a, it's a,
If
it's a,
Pacquiao wins, he's going to fight again.
but respect. I think we're not giving Mario enough respect for taking the fight.
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. And Mario's being very gracious, very classy about it. He's not putting him down, mocking him like Thurman was, because he realized, oh, look at you, Keith Thurman. I don't want to be that guy again. Just start dogging him. He puts me
Well,
out
he
in the
fed
first
off
round.
of that, right? He fed off of
Mhm.
that. And then the only thing, like I said again, the only thing that concerns me will be his legs.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Let's see
always a
how
risk
that
with these
plays
things.
out. Let's see how that plays out. All right, brother man. I think we covered everything that's happening this weekend. Guys, there's a lot of boxing happening this weekend. We got cards in Argentina, we got cards in Ghana, we got cards in the UK, we got a bunch of cards happening across North America. So there is
USA, yeah.
no shortage of boxing. If you have the zone, that is the home of boxing.
Just
Every
looking.
card, 80% of the cards happening this weekend will be on the zone.
Yeah.
So there's
They're the
no
king of boxing right now.
shortage. There's no shortage of boxing for anyone out there. So check it out. It's a quiet week in other areas of combat sports. So boxing should have center stage. No one's really interfering with George and Richardson this weekend as well. So this should be a good card. Alexis Barrios is fighting as well. The Canadian heavyweight 12-0, 5 victories to his name, 5 knockouts. Did you say?
In a row.
In
Yep.
a row. So someone to check out as well, up and coming. Let's see how all this plays out. Chance, anything in the world of professional boxing history or Canadian boxing history?
Yeah, 2006, Atlantic City, Bernard Hopkins beats Antonio Tarver, 12-round decision to capture a belt.
There you go, man. Classic, classic, classic. All right, nothing in Canada.
No,
All right, you're quite weak in Canada, man.
nothing of significance.
Can't have
No.
something happen every week in Canada, but hey, man,
Mhm.
it's okay. It's okay. We are entering. Well, you know what? People are saying it's like the dog days of summer. It's not even summer yet.
I know it's been really nice out, man. I love it.
It's beautiful. Technically speaking, we haven't started summer, but it already
It's
feels like
coming.
summer,
Yeah, it does. I
right?
love it.
I
Can't
love
beat
when
this
I
weather, man.
nothing better than wearing flip-flops and a tank top, which I'll probably change later on, but
Yeah.
we'll go from there. All right, guys and gals, my name is Bobby Sampson. He is Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you, ladies and gentlemen. Hard work, patience, faith. I keep saying it, man, and I'm going to keep saying it until it sinks in. Is that fair, Chance?
Yeah, keep doing it. Yeah, people need to hear
Right?
it.
You know, and I think it's good for me and it's good for you. It keeps us grounded
Yeah.
as well. Just have faith in your ability, have faith in your work, and you know what? Everything will turn around. Not every bad time is forever. Good times do come. You just
Hmm.
have to be patient. Just lead a good, happy life. Don't
Yeah,
get
it's the
caught
main
up in
thing.
stupidities. Don't get caught up in he said, she said kind of crap, because that's where your body will degenerate.
Hmm.
Science has shown if you live a stress-free life, considering the fact that we all deal with stress, it's how you deal with it will determine your health. A lot of
Yep,
your health issues will go away if you just stop fucking worrying
big
and
time.
caring about everyone else.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you're
Well
proof of
said.
that, man. You've seen this in the last month at work. I've let all that shit go and I'm happy.
Exactly right, dude. You can't worry about the little things, right?
No, and you can't, you know, the hackling and the cackling and all that nonsense that's happening in the background. Just brush it off, man. It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be that way. And you know what the
Totally agree.
best part of it is?
What's that?
It kills them inside more because you're not responding.
Yeah, ignoring it.
Love it.
A lot of them just want attention. You don't give the attention. That's the worst
There
thing
you
they
go.
can
And that's just a
do.
pressure. That's just a way to live your life, man. Work hard, believe in yourself, have faith, and believe in your patience. George Kambosos, good luck this weekend, my friend. Let's see if you can do it again. I got him in 12. You got Richardson in 12. Let's see how this weekend plays
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it'd be a good fight.
Samp and Chance are out. We'll see you Tuesday.